All right, welcome to knifekits.com and holstersmith.com. Today we are going to be making a leather holster. Our leather holster making kit comes with everything that you need in order to make it. This particular one is for a Glock 19 and it has a thumb brake, but the way that you make these is going to be very similar whether it has a thumb brake or not, or what model it is for. It's going to come with everything that you need. If it's one that comes with snaps, it'll have the snaps already set. It's going to have your leather. It's going to have your wax cord or twine, whatever you like to call it. It's going to have needle, some sandpaper, and then it's going to have your burnishing tool. All right, so we're going to start just by roughing the inside. Now, we're not roughing up the outside of the holster. We're kind of roughing up the inside of the holster. And we're roughing it up where we're going to be running our wax cord through and the parts that are actually going to touch together. We're not going to rough up the part where the actual gun would go in. We're putting glue on it so that when you assemble the holster, it will help that hold a little bit better between the two pieces there. Not 100% necessary. The wax cord is going to do just fine. But if you are going to use any type of glue, just make sure that you do not put it where the gun is going to go in. If you do get any there, you can just kind of wipe it off and you'll be fine. So when you put your two pieces together, make absolutely sure that it is inside to inside touching. You don't want to touch the outside together. Now all we're doing here is putting a couple of needles in just to line it up, making sure that all our holes are lined up so that when we start doing our stitching, we know that all our holes are lined up. You don't want to start and find out that only some of them are. And then what we've done is we just put a weight on there to hold it together for that glue. Again, if you're not using glue, then you got a little bit of movement and you can work it as you go. But if you're using glue, give it some time, however long your particular glue says it needs to cure, let it cure for that long. So now we're just showing you how to thread your needle here and get yourself started. And same thing with your second needle on the other end. So we're going to be doing what's called a saddle stitch. And as you'll see, when we start actually doing the stitching, you want it snug, but don't over tighten it. You don't need to use all of your strength in order to do this. You just want to get it nice and snug so that it doesn't look loose, so that it looks neat and clean. So we're going to take our needle and we are going to put the first needle through one of the holes wherever you want to start. And then we're going to get our length kind of like shoelaces, right? We're going to get both of our lengths the same on both sides. And then going from the front, we're going to run our needle through. Now it's pretty tight, so if you need to use a pair of pliers to pull it through, you can. So now we're going back to our first needle, and we are going to run our first needle back through the hole that we just ran our second needle through, and then we're going to pull it snug. Then we're going to take that first needle again, and we're going to run it through the next hole. And now we're going to take our second needle and run it back through the hole. So all you're doing here is taking what I'm calling the front, which is going to be the in this case the it's technically it's the inside of the holster, but what we're showing you in the front first, I'm going to call that the front. You're going to run one needle through a hole, and then you're going to take the needle that was on the back side and bring it back through the hole, which is now the new front needle. It'll go through the hole, and then the needle that's currently in the back, and so on and so on and so forth. And then, like I said, you don't have to crank it down. Just give it a little tug each time that you run it through so that you can get it nice and snug. Now, as we're going through and kind of showing you this process, just so you know, there are some things that you can do when you've completed your holster that can protect and enhance the appearance. Not absolutely necessary, but you could use leather conditioners like neat's foot oil, mink oil, lanolin-based conditioners. You put those on there to kind of keep the leather supple and prevent cracking. Again, this would be on the outside. You could use beeswax, carnauba wax, any kind of commercial wax to add a protective layer to it, which kind of helps resist moisture and may give you a slightly different look if you want a shinier look or something like that. Now you can see here now that we are done with that last particular stitch. We're just cutting it short and then just using a cigarette lighter to get it to kind of melt together, just to give you a nice, clean, neat look. Okay, now we've done the whole thing because all we did was showed you that first set of stitching. So at this point now we're going to go ahead and soak this. And we're just going to have it in water for maybe 15-20 seconds is about all that you need. You just want to get the leather wet, and that will help you get it the way that you want it. Don't worry when you see a little bit of dye, it's because this leather is vegetable dyed. When leather gets wet, it's going to release a little bit of the dyes in it, so it's not hurting anything. And then you're just going to kind of pry it open here. And understand it's going to be tight. It's going to be very tight because, again, the leather is not wet and stretched yet, and you want it so that when it's complete, it gives you a nice, snug fit on your gun. So if you're like super strong, you might be able to just push the molding prop in there. In the event that you're not, which I'm personally not, you can start your molding prop in there and then use something like a rubber mallet, something like that. Once you get it started, just use a rubber mallet, hang on to the holster and use a rubber mallet to tap it the rest of the way in. You could try holding it and banging it on the table, whatever your preference is. I think a rubber mallet would probably be the most correct way, I guess, if I were going to say there's a correct way. But otherwise, I mean, if you want to just do what we're doing here and working in with your hands, that's fine. It just takes a lot longer to do that. So once you've got it in there, you got the weapon in there, you get your snap down, you got it where you want it. You're using your burnishing tool here now, kind of the rounded end. You don't want to use the pointy end to really get that leather in so that it really hugs around the gun. You want to get that all as tight around that gun as you possibly can. And that's going to go for both sides. So another thing while we're showing you this, if you want to give your holster a different look after you're completed with it, you can people use sealants and top coats, to protect the dye, finish the leather to make it look more matte or satin or glossy. That's all completely up to you. One of the top sealant and finishes is Fiebing's Resolene. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's Fiebings, and Resolene is Resolene. It's an acrylic finish. You can get it in glossy to semi-glossy. It's water resistant, flexible, lasts a long time. You just apply thin layers with a sponge, and you can dilute it for more of a satin look. So once you've got it, your gun in there, your mold in there, and you've got it all kind of basically the way that you want it, and you've kind of formed it. You can see this one where we've kind of curved it right so that it kind of meets more like your hip or whatever. At this point, you're going to want to leave that molding prop in there and let it dry for 24 hours. You can let it dry longer if you want to, but definitely at least 24 hours. And as I said, this particular model has a thumb brake. This goes the same thing for just a regular snap or ones that don't have a thumb brake or a snap at all. So now all we're doing here is now we're just doing some final finishing. This is a completely up to you step. Some people look at that edge of the leather and are like, oh yeah, it's fine. Some people want a slightly different look, you know, or they just want it smoother. So you can just use this little piece of sandpaper to smooth it out. You could even get inside the belt loop holes and do that if you want to. All right, so once we're done sanding it all down and kind of wiping it off, making sure that you don't have a lot of dust on there, we're going to put just a little bit of water on it and then we rub it with a burnishing tool. This is kind of basically polishing, for lack of a better term. So you use a little bit of water at a time, and then you'll burnish, and then if you want more, add a little bit more water. It's kind of like if you've ever shined shoes with shoe polish. You don't want to use a ton of water. You want to use a little bit at a time and polish a little bit at a time. And you can use different parts of the burnishing tool, whatever is most comfortable for you to hold and for you to use until you get the amount of shine that you want. Basically, the more that you use the burnishing tool and hit it with water, the shinier you're going to get it. So you can get it to whatever finish you want. In your finished product, when you're done, again, you can make it shiny, whatever you want to do with different chemicals and stuff like that. At the end of the day, you have every bit as much of a professional holster as if you buy this from a high-end holster company. This is the same grade of leather. The only difference is you're the one that's hand stitching it yourself, and so you've got something that you can be proud of. Thanks for watching.